In this episode, I'm going to give a quick tour of the interface. Before I get started, I have to admit one thing I've learned to appreciate while putting the series together and learning more of reverse engineering is an appreciation for reading documentation. I don't know if it came from me just being very adept at picking things up technology-wise, like going back when I was a kid, programming VCRs or messing with home entertainment equipment. It just came very natural to me. Or maybe it came from many years of playing video games and skipping the instructions because I wanted to play the game. Who knows? Anyway, I will say with this endeavor I'm taking on, I'm having a growing appreciation for reading through documentation and learning more about an API and learning more about different things a tool can do. So with that said, I will highly recommend that you do so, especially if you're one of those like myself that haven't been doing that much reverse engineering. It will help you out a lot. So getting on with that, one way I kind of realized that was I started playing with the demo version of Binary Ninja and would just skip through the first part where it says this is a demo version only. Well, I knew it was a demo, but I didn't understand what it meant that it would only be able to be compatible with 32-bit files or ARM v7. And then opening up the personal version, then opening up also 32-bit version of files, I started noticing a big difference. So with that, here we are. Let's get going. So I'm going to open this file first, simple hello world program. A 32-bit one, that is. And this is the personal version of Binary Ninja. And by the way, if you're following along and using the demo, you're going to notice some differences. I'll leave the files on GitHub and links and everything to that. If you want to download and mess around with stuff, you're more than welcome to. Let's see. So if this was in the demo version, it would open as 32-bit. But if I open it and it was a 64-bit one or an incompatible file, I'll open one I'm going to work on later on down the road. So this one, for instance, you might recognize the format and the name of the file. So if it's an incompatible file, it's going to open up in this raw hex view. And if you're in the demo version, unless it's a 32-bit file, it's going to open up with this view. Let's see. There's that. Some of the other things you're also going to notice with the demo version is when you first open it, as you can see where it shows you your file history and everything, it'll just tell you what the restrictions are for the demo version right here. You won't see the version history, which might be important. And you're also going to not have access to the API or the plugins, which from what I hear from a lot of people that are much smarter than me at this, are pretty handy for Binary Ninja. One thing, so we're going to go back to that file again. So what you're going to typically see when you open a compatible file is these four windows right here. And so this is where your code is, and pretty much where any of your things, your projects you're working on. You're going to see your code and everything here. It's all the assembly code. Up here, you're going to see different functions for that program. And this is, like I said, a simple hello world, so it's just got that main function. Nothing too complex. And down here, you can see cross-references. So let's see. So this is a cross-reference for this program. If you had one with more cross-references, they would all show up down here. And right here, your log is going to tell you basically all the activity you have going on with that program. It's analyzing as you go. Now, if you switch to certain views, like your hex view, for instance, switching to it, you'll see activity in the log as it's analyzing it. It's going to show you when you change views. Not all of them, though. So watch, if I go to the assembly graph, it doesn't show anything going on in the log. If I go to strings, there's some more activity right there. Going into your types, there's some activity. Back to linear to assembly, it does that. Let's see, linear to assembly graph. no activity. Graph to linear disassembly, no activity. And like I said, this might not be important to some of the people that are a lot more experienced than me at this, but for some people that are really wanting to get an idea of what's going on, or somebody new that is opening this with very little experience, they're going to see everything that's going on there, or what this does. One thing also, let's go back to that disassembly graph real quick. So right down here, you're going to see some options. Oops, let's change that to here, and there we go. So down here, you're going to see where you can change your views right here. And you can change them to each of your different views, as you notice we changed already. Over here, this will change this to raw, and there you go. And then over here in options, you're not going to see much on this one, but let's go back to that disassembly graph real quick. Now you see in options, there's a lot more stuff going on. So you can do things like hide the memory address or show it, in this case. You can show and hide the bytecode. And some of you, like I said, that may have more experience with assembly are probably going to show and hide more things. We'll get into the low-level IL, which means low-level and intermediate language, and the medium-level one, and look at the other IL forms. So right over here, there's also some hotkeys. I know some of you like shortcuts. So if I do space, it'll go to the linear assembly, H, back to hex, back to that view. That's pushing the H key, by the way. You can enter comments and everything here. I'm going to slowly go through each of these things, so I just want to make this really simple. And as we get into bigger things, so if you go up to here at the top, you can see help. So one thing I like about the personal version, and I tend to like with software more, is it downloads it locally. If you were in a demo version, this would just take you to the site. You wouldn't see the API and source code compiler reference there. And you also, in the demo version, won't see the plugin folder and all that. You'll see an analysis module. I think the linear sweeps in the demo version too. There's also a script console, and you can import. There's a Binary Ninja Python library you can do a lot of stuff with, and we're going to get into each of these things one lesson at a time. You can hide a log if you want. We'll figure out. I'll probably wait until I get a little further down, and I'm going to do a recap of how much I've learned, how much I'm stumbling right now, and it's going to be pretty hilarious for some of you. With that, let's see. Yeah, that should cover it. That'll be about it for this video. I'm going to go through each of these menus, and we're going to do a little bit of everything here. I'm leaving no stone unturned. Hence, some of these videos will be really slow to start. But what I'm going to do is, once we get into the more advanced stuff, I'm going to say stuff I'm going to re-edit these older videos saying, skip to this video, or if you want to get to the good stuff, go right here. And I think I mentioned that in the first video already. And that's it for this video. Moving forward, there's a lot of documentation to read up on the plugins, the API, and general use of this application. We're going to get into a lot of cool stuff. If you find yourself struggling with this tool, I highly recommend joining the Binary Ninja Slack channel and asking questions. I should probably be asking more myself, to be honest. Speaking of this channel, speaking of channels, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel for more updates. If you have questions, comments, suggestions, complaints, fire away in the comment section. Cheers.